Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Austin Perry Show. I'm your host, Austin Perry, and today is Thursday, April 15th, 2021, and tonight is episode 9 of the Austin Perry Show. It's been 9 days, tonight's episode 9. I'm doing an episode every day, and I'm very happy to welcome my guest, and this is the second time on my show, Carlos Campbell. Thank you so much for being here. Please introduce yourself, sir.
All right, I'm Carlos, back again for episode 2. And like I said before, I'm into topics with aliens, metaphysical, politics, and just anything about nature and life. So we got some good topics today, and you're going to give me some questions at the end too, right?
Yes, sir. We have some good topics to talk about, and then I have some questions for you. And so you're into the metaphysical and science, and this is the Austin Perry Show, where we talk about current events and politics and culture and news. And so we have a good dynamic going on here, and I just want to say, people, if you're watching on YouTube, please give this video a like. Please comment on this video. Please let me know what you're thinking about what I'm covering here, and please give me some criticism. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is Austin Perry Art, and please hit the notification bell. And please visit my website, which is austinparryart.com, and also my other website is austinparry.org, and that's P-A-R-R-Y. And if you're feeling generous, please leave me a donation to support my content, and you can do that via PayPal, and my email address for that is austin.perry@gmail.com. And thank you so much for watching, folks. Let's go ahead and move on to the news topics. Carlos, what do you have to talk about tonight?
The papers. This is from ScienceAlert.com, and the first topic is, well, the topic is nature, but the first article is, your dog may get jealous even if it just imagines you petting another dog. So you have a dog. Talk about your dog.
Yeah, I do have a dog. I have a boxer, and that's interesting. So a dog may get jealous even if it just imagines someone else petting you.
So I'm going to get into the article. Okay, nearly 4 to 5 dog owners report instances of jealousy from their pooches, and new research suggests those behaviors can be triggered even if a supposed rival for affection and attention is out of sight.
Okay, article. There we go. So basically, I think that that's definitely true. Dogs are very emotional. Dogs are very intelligent. And I can imagine my dog being jealous if he thinks about me petting another dog. Because they're almost like humans, right?
Yeah, and I could finish up reading that.
Okay, here you go.
In other words, dogs appear to have the mental capacity to imagine a situation that would make them feel jealous, even if it's not fully in sight. As we cannot quiz canines about their thoughts or feelings, the study is a useful insight into what might be going on inside a dog's mind when it sees or doesn't see something that it thinks it needs to be jealous of. Research has reported what many dog owners firmly believe. Dogs exhibit jealous behavior when their human companion interacts with a potential rival, says psychologist Amelia Bassens from the University of Auckland in New Zealand. So scientists are really getting into this.
This is science. We're covering science news articles here. This is about dog psychology, and this is very important because a lot of people have dogs.
And dogs are known to be territorial and stuff, so this makes sense. In humans, jealousy is thought to be closely linked to self-awareness, so the research has something to say about whether or not dogs are actually aware of themselves, and the mental processes that might be behind the jealous behavior of so many owners to see.
Yeah, I think dogs are probably equivalent in intelligence to what, like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old? What do you think?
Yeah, because I noticed when people get another dog, and then dogs are like babies to some owners. So when they get a new dog, it's kind of like how kids get jealous of the new little brother or new little sister. So it's interesting to see how they act human-like to us emotionally.
Yeah, and honestly, what do they say? Dog is man's best friend, and the dogs really do a lot for people that are in hospital situations, or people that have depression, or people that have need a blind seeing eye dog, or potentially different dogs that go around helping people that need comfort with dogs, just to be around to get that interaction with the dog. And so it's very, very important. Like I said, dog is man's best friend.
Yeah.
There it is again.
Oh.
Good article. And what source was that from?
That was from ScienceAlert.com.
ScienceAlert.com. Very intriguing, thought-provoking article. And
we
have
have
another one?
Yes, from Business Insider. The topic is science. So this article says sperm whales taught each other how to avoid hunters, harpoons, 200 years ago, according to new study. So sperm whales taught each other how to avoid hunters, harpoons, 200 years ago, according to new study. So this is interesting. So we still on the nature and animals topic. And this is the article from Business Insider.
Business Insider, wow. Sperm whales are extremely intelligent animals. Probably, arguably, one of the most intelligent animals in the whole entire ocean. What do you think?
Let's see. Let's read on the article.
Okay.
Sperm whales taught each other how to avoid harpoons after hunting them began 200 years ago, according to a new study. Published by the Royal Society on Wednesday, the research was based on newly digitized logbooks from American whalers, which record details of their expeditions in the North Pacific during the 19th century, such as the number of whales spotted or harpooned. Although they were in high demand for their whalebone, ivory, and blubber, and almost 80,000 voyage days recorded, there were only 2,405 successful whale sightings and a mere 3% success rate. Wow.
Wow, so the sperm whales were very plentiful back in the day, and nowadays it seems that their numbers have dropped drastically because of illegal whale killings and harvesting them. And that's pretty sad because the whales are very, very intelligent.
And this shouldn't be anything new because the whole evolutionary aspect or whatever, even though it's like modern hunting, if it was another type of animal hunting them, they would easily adapt, well, eventually adapt. And that's how nature works.
The apex predator of nature always prevails. And the whales, I think that we should really try to not kill that many of them because it's going to throw off the balance in the ecosystem and the symbiotic relationship that the ocean has, because the whales are kind of not necessarily an apex predator, but they're very high on the evolutionary scale. And they're almost like the caretakers or like the guardians of the ocean. I think of them as such a high intelligence. I actually remember when I was in college, I did a paper about how there was a scientist that claims that humpback whale tones can be translated into English. So that just, yeah, seriously, that shows you.
That's interesting. And then I could finish this article off. The hunters recognized the sperm whales had developed tactics to evade them. Instead of forming defensive squares used to fight off their natural predators, the killer whale, the sperm whales, understood swimming against the wind would allow them to outrun the wind-powered hunter ships. The advent of steam power and grenade harpoons in the later years of the 19th century meant that the canny sperm whale was doomed to mass slaughter. However, this was cultural evolution, much too fast for genetic evolution. Sperm whales have the largest brain of any animal on the planet. I did not know that. And the researchers highlighted that if they were able to adapt 200 years ago, they could probably also face the ocean's challenges today. Wow.
So, the sperm whale has the largest brain in the world. Do you think that they're as smart as humans, Carlos?
Instinctively, yes, because we don't have to rely on instinct anymore because we're modernized. So now, yeah, in the wild, hell yeah, they're more smarter than us.
And it probably is just because, there's the article, folks. It's probably just because they don't have opposable thumbs why they haven't been able to make like advanced computers and technology and things like that. But in their own mind, they're probably thinking of just super complex philosophical ideas and thoughts. I would imagine. I don't know. Maybe not.
They had the capacity. They had the brain capacity.
It seems like it. And then I've heard arguments like, oh, well, they don't have as many folds in the brain, and so the surface area or something like that. But that was pertaining to elephants, I think, not even sperm whales. I don't even know about sperm whales. Maybe sperm whales are just really super smart.
I'm going to have to do more research on that.
Indeed.
That's interesting. Sperm whales out of all the whales.
Yeah.
Okay, we have a triggering topic.
Oh.
This is from CNBC.com.
Okay, good source.
Millennials are known as avocado toast loving, latte swilling, spindrifters. Here's the reality.
Is that what I am?
I don't know. What year you was born?
I was born in '89, so I think I'm technically considered a millennial. What about you?
Yep, I'm 87. I'm a millennial.
Well, we're both millennials here talking about a millennial article. That's funny.
So I wonder what changed.
Well, I think that a lot of the millennials are caught up in playing video games too often and probably scrolling through social media too often. It may be putting them in a zombie-like hypnosis state. Probably not, though. I don't know.
So let's see what they have to say. As millennials began to turn 40 in 2021, oh my God, we're getting old. CNBC
Still
Make
young.
It has,
Still young.
I feel like it. Make It has launched Middle-Aged Millennials, a series exploring how the oldest members of this generation have grown into adulthood amidst the backdrop of the Great Recession and the C word, we're going to call it guano, pandemic, student loans, stagnant wages, and rising cost of living. For the last decade, headlines have decried millennials as lazy and entitled, failing to live up to their parents' success because of carelessness with money.
Yeah. I
For
hear that.
years, the data did indicate that millennials were, on average, slower to reach certain milestones than previous generations. According to the Pew Research Center, millennials on average have delayed or foregone marriage more than previous generations and have been somewhat slower in forming their own households. Many also do or did live at their parents' home longer than their parents did.
Wow. So you think that a lot of these millennials are just living with their parents, or is it less of millennials are moving out sooner?
Well, they're gonna on here is gonna show why is this because it's just the studies show it faced one setback after another. Stagnant wages, ballooning student loan debt, and increased medical and housing costs combine to ensure that millennials on average have less money to spend than previous generations. Those without a college degree face even worse odds of attaining a well-paying job. In 2018, Pew found that households headed by a millennial with a bachelor's degree or higher earned a median adjusted household income of roughly $100,000. Those headed by high school graduates, roughly 49,000 a year. At the same age, baby boomers without degrees earned $51,000 to $54,000 in 2017 on average. Those with degrees earned $80,000 and $95,000 in 2017 on average. So that's the baby boomers. So that's with the degree they're earning less, I guess, because they're not updated with the technology now.
So more degrees is better, and a doctorate is good, and a double doctorate would be even better than that potentially.
Workers experience 70% of total wage growth in the first 10 years of work, according to the National Bureau for Economic Research. Missing even a year or two at the start of a career can stunt earnings for the rest of it. Dang.
Wow.
But millennials' bad luck continues as a result of more recent financial trauma.
I can see that.
Oh my goodness. So according to the guano pandemic and the economic crisis, millennials entering their peak earning years particularly hard are particularly hard. Wow. So, I guess it's both. I guess it's us and our government failing us.
It is both. It is a lack of ambition potentially. I think that people should work really hard at their goals. I think that people should really strive for success
And get a degree.
I think that a degree can definitely help if you want to be an engineer, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer. A degree can definitely open a lot of doors for you. And a lot of these really high-level Ivy League schools have very good reputations.
Yes. And it's weird because I talk to many people with degrees. They'll have a degree in like history and then they'll get like a tech job, nothing to do with it. So I guess I was misled by the whole degree thing or whatever. So now I just need a degree just to get my foot in the door. They don't care what you got a degree in. So my major is art. So I did 2 years of media arts and animation. So I could find a way to finish my associates or do 2 more years for a bachelor's.
And then I hear
Let's see what
that
happens from there.
exactly. And then I hear that if you are trying to get your foot into the door of a corporate atmosphere and work your way up through the ladder, a good way to do that would just be to register for a college course, not even go and then say some college on your application, and that's better than just high school degree.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, millennials are misunderstood. Just don't, I feel like they put too much blame. This is the article. They put too much blame on
There it
us
is.
when you have to put blame on both parties. It's not just us, it's the government that set us up for failure. But at the end of the day, it's all about survival and capitalism. So
It
gotta
is.
work through it and adapt.
This is very true, very intriguing articles, very interesting, very thought-provoking. Thank you for covering those, Carlos. Thank you for reading those to us. Let's go ahead and move on. And what we're going to cover now, folks, on the Austin Perry Show, where we cover politics, current event, culture, and news. And we're going to talk about now is some questions that I have for my guest, Carlos, here on episode 9. This is the second time Carlos Campbell has joined me on the Austin Perry Show. So grateful to have you here. A very genius mind, very brilliant. And I want to pick your brain.
All right,
And I want to ask you a couple questions. I have some questions from 3 different topics, from spirituality, philosophy, and of course, aliens, our favorite topic. And Carlos Campbell here actually is my resident alien expert. We had a very amazing show, the Austin Perry Show. Episode 2 was his first appearance on my show. We talked about aliens in depth. He knows a lot of alien knowledge, and so that's going to be our last topic. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the questions I have for Carlos here.
All right.
All right. First topic is spirituality.
And before your first question, we have to do the disclaimer. Everything I say is my opinion, and it's all hypothetical, so we're just having fun with this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is all fictional hypotheticals that we are covering here. This is not any kind of financial advice, or this is not any kind of life advice. This is purely opinion. Yeah. And first question on the topic of spirituality, Carlos. Does your soul live on after you die?
Yes, since we're all energy and matter, even after we die, we still exist. So I believe your soul exists, and not only that, we're all connected. So I say our souls all connect in a whole superconscious, and we're free to do whatever we want.
So that's similar to a collective hive mind, but more of an organic God's vision of that same sci-fi thought.
Yes, and I believe that it's hard to think about that because us living on Earth, I think our goal is just to experience life and then use that information and collect with our superconscious. So we're always connected, we just don't remember. That's my thoughts on that.
Extremely thought-provoking. Number 2 question we have on the topic of spirituality. Is reincarnation real?
I believe in it, and not only I believe in it, since when you're talking about the spiritual realm, time doesn't exist. Or time does exist, but in many different ways. So
Differently.
time isn't only linear; it's also in other forms, just like water. You can have time that's frozen, just like your VCR. I'm so old. Just like you're recording something or rewinding something on Netflix and stuff, where you could fast forward it and stuff. I believe time is more than just linear when you're talking about the spiritual realm. So with that being said, I believe not only reincarnation but just incarnation, because I believe that time, everything that's happening right now, so your reincarnation could be happening right now in an alternate reality or alternate universe, but at the same time. So it's hard, just like what I was talking about before, spirit with the soul connecting with your higher self. It's hard to think about stuff like that because it's like way outside the box. So like, how could everything exist all at once?
So high level.
So
For
I
people
think
to comprehend.
I think when you're dreaming, you're channeling your other past lives or your other selves, and your past life could look like a different person, or
Right.
or it could look just like you, just a separate universe where you have blue eyes, or where you have where you're a girl in another life, or whether you're extremely wealthy or extremely poor or blind. The universe is limitless.
Or if you take another form, like you take an alien form, like you have an octopus body by chance. And so reincarnation, another quick question on that. Is that like going to heaven or going to hell? Is that similar to reincarnation?
I say it goes to your belief system, because it's weird, because a lot of Judeo-Christians believe there isn't reincarnation. You go to heaven or hell, and then but you have Jesus where he reincarnated and came back
in this realm. And this is a different dimension than what some Christians or Jews might think of what a heaven or a hell might be, another dimension possibly. And
so I say you decide whether you go to heaven or hell. Never decide for another person. That's your personal belief. My personal belief is I'll go to the spiritual realm, and then I'm in control of my next destiny, or whether I want to go reincarnate here or just have fun in the spiritual world, because time has no limits.
I see what you're saying there. That makes a lot of sense. And okay, that's a very thought-provoking question there. Let's move on to the next one. At what point does a person lose their soul, and can they get it back?
That goes back to the first question with the energy. You can't lose you can't lose your energy, because what they say, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. But
It's an everlasting force.
You can have the illusion that you are losing your soul, but I don't even believe you can sell your soul. You can have the illusion you can sell your soul, but I don't think, because your free will, no one can take your soul.
Even if your soul is diminished, there is still a remnant of your soul, even if you've done the most heinous, evil, terrible, horrific things in your life to diminish your soul. There is still an imprint of your soul which can be regained, possibly. What do you think about that?
That's just like the Anakin Skywalker, the Darth Vader story or whatever. He done some horrendous things, which is an understatement. But then he still redeemed himself. So you still have free will. You could do the most worst thing in the world or whatever, and then your story isn't over. There's always redemption.
You're giving me goosebumps right now. That's powerful. Yeah. Wow. All right. That's very thought-provoking. Let's move on to the next one. Is meditation a good thing, and how do you meditate?
Meditation is great. It has a lot of benefits in clearing your mind, especially with today's culture with mental illness and stress.
Yes.
What people don't understand, meditation is clearing your mind, thinking of nothing. And that's one of the hardest things to do, because how you going to think of nothingness when you're just always thinking of something? Even when you're trying to meditate, you're thinking of meditating. So the key is, which the Eastern societies or whatever, they already known about this, is all about breathing. So when you're concentrating on breathing, you're not thinking, you're breathing. Your body is in its natural state. And then that's how you fall asleep too, because dreaming and sleeping is a state of meditation too. So when you see on movies when people are sitting around doing yoga and meditating and stuff like that, they're actually sleeping, but they're awake, if that means anything, to where you're it's kind of like daydreaming in class. You sit there and daydream in class. So meditation is very
a trance.
Useful. Yeah, trance. And it's not always about you clearing your mind and you coming up with these ideas or thinking of stuff or whatever, or in a dream. Sometimes it could be just sitting there in silence for like 10 minutes before you go to work, or just to relax, just to get your head right, because you're going through so much stress and talking on the phone and trying to get your career right and stuff like that. So meditation is very serious. You can meditate for 1 minute just to get your head right. If you notice how athletes get ready in the locker room or whatever, they focus, where they even listening to music or whatever. When you're in when you're highly experienced in meditation, you could be in like a busy city where everything, the cars driving and beeping, people talking and bumping into you. Once you're really experienced, you could meditate even in a loud area. But the best places to meditate is in a dark, quiet, cold room. So that's the way you could get started, and then you could eventually start off going into nature and hearing the ambience of the trees and everything. So it's all about being in a relaxed state. Relax your mind and relax your soul.
And folks, meditation is extremely important. I meditate often, and I encourage everyone to do some research on meditation and see if maybe you want to try it out. And let's go on to the next question. Carlos, why is there so much poverty in today's world?
Poverty, I think it comes from hierarchy. If you see ancient societies and throughout history, the poor society is the society that wasn't what's it called, into royalty or divinity rights or whatever it's called. So I think it's because it's the caste system, like in India. It's classism.
Classism.
If everybody treat each other equally economically, there would never be poverty. If you look at America, for example, we have all these great structures and buildings and all this wealth and all these billionaires and stuff, and then you go right across the street, you see hundreds of homeless people, where it's not homeless as in they're not ambitious or whatever. They're homeless as in they have no family, they have no family structure, they have no job experience, they have a whole bunch of criminal records, they have a drug problem, they have mental illness. So when you look at homeless people, try not to instantly think like, oh, they're not ambitious enough, they're being lazy, or they just have a drug problem. A lot of them have,
it could be hard times,
mental homes and stuff like that. So and they're human at the end of the day. So we have so much land that's not even been used, especially like deserts and everywhere, or different just landfills, where you could have homeless people go and provide just like cheap shelter, something to put their roof over their head and clean water and
somewhere to stay.
You could donate free food. It's like,
and that's what I think too.
And water
is the donations. Is people should donate more. People should be more generous. People should be more kind-hearted. And I think when I point one finger at you folks, I'm pointing three back at myself. And I'm talking to myself too here. And I think I need to donate more.
And they should start with the big cities. Like I heard San Francisco is like extremely homeless.
Needs a lot of help.
And that's the same city where it's like Silicon Valley, where everybody is like extra rich. So I visited there like 2 years ago, and I see what they was talking about. I'm like, this is crazy how you have so many wealthy, successful, intelligent people, and then you have the unfortunate people that's so poor. And then we have you think of the politics and stuff, and like, this is a serious issue. I know they probably don't have to worry about it, but this is serious. You don't have to have empathy or sympathy for homeless people. It's just doing your part as American, helping the other man, because everybody didn't grow up in a wealthy family. So the answer to the question, what was it? Why is there so much poverty? It's because of hierarchy.
Okay, good
and
answer.
Economics. Yeah.
Good answer on that one. Number 6 here. Is war ever justified or no?
That's an interesting question. War is a conflict because people consider war. People think of war, they think of the battle. War is the conflict. I don't think war is justified because it's gonna happen, but the casualties that happen about it is not justified. So you can have a disagreement, but a war is like a disagreement on a higher scale. So I don't think war is necessary. War is going to happen because of the times we live in now and the times we live in before. But there's other ways of settling stuff diplomatically. But at the same time, people have to respect other people's cultures and languages. So it's weird because with America wants to help other countries and modernize it, but at the same time, you can't force people to have your ideology or beliefs. Even if it's a dictator country or whatever, you have to respect their belief system. But at the same time, the way to reach to other countries is the talk. And the reason why it's so much problems right now is because people don't want to talk. It's all about you need to do this and threatening and stuff like that.
Yep.
So it isn't about changing people's mind. It's about being civilized and talking. And eventually there's going to be newer leaders in different generations. And then they're going to be the ones that's empowered to be like, all right, we're going to work together, but here's the plan. You break this plan, we're about to go back to the ratchetness. If not.
And I think you're totally right. You're dead on. You hit the nail on the head on that one. And I agree with you. We need diplomacy. And on to the next question. What should be humanity's main goal?
Humanity's main goal should be coexisting.
I agree with you on that one. And I think people should strive to have love in their life.
Since we're dealing with the cancel culture, they're doing exactly what the Catholic Church used to do back in the day, or any other organization used to be back in the day, where you can't speak on nothing. And I always mention Leonardo da Vinci. He defeated the cancel culture because he put his code in his art at that time. He uses artistic expression. Now he's still relevant today. So
brilliant mind.
What the cancel culture is against coexisting. You could disagree with something and then still coexist with somebody. And then it's the whole trying to control somebody's beliefs. You could, if you have a private company and you don't like how somebody's doing it or whatever, that's okay. You could fire them. It's messed up, but at the end of the day, they're a private corporation. They could do whatever they want to. Start your other corporation. That's what everybody told me. If I disagree with anybody in their platform, you can start your own. So with the same thing, with cancel culture is so selective to where they don't have any type of structure. So it's not even about morality. It's about not coexisting. I don't like this person, so I'm not going to coexist with this person or whatever. But I'm like, no one gave you a choice to have to. There's plenty of people that probably don't even like my existence or whatever, but I'm going to treat them with the same respect, and I'm not going to infringe upon them, and they're not going to mess with me, because it's critical about expressing yourself, because as soon as you express yourself and be your true self, you're going to filter out the people that don't even like you or agree with you. So it's all about respecting other people's cultures and boundaries.
Very true. I like your take on that.
So coexistence. We need to coexist with each other.
Very positive message. Thank you for that. Let's go to the next question, Carlos. How do you reach a state of transcendence?
I say with reflection, because it's weird, because you have to with the videos I watch and the sources I have, they say don't worry about the past, don't worry about the future. What are you going to do now and today? Worry about the now. And I think transcendence is learning from your past and learning your growth. So
Yep.
I say you could focus on the now, but you have to also acknowledge your past self so you could grow from that. Don't harbor on your past self, but grow from that and then know that you're going to potentially grow more. So transcendence is all about, like with me now, I always ate healthy, but now I really eat healthy.
Yep.
And then stay active, stay positive, and always know that there's always going to be someone to disagree with you, and you can't get triggered. Well, you can get triggered, but you can't react to stuff that trigger you. You have to go through stuff smoothly. You have to go through life smoothly, like row your boat gently downstream. So it's kind of like that. So transcendence is about allowance, knowing yourself and allowing the world to work and changing your vibrations or belief system. Because tomorrow you're a way different person than what you are today.
Very good thoughts. Okay. We have a few more.
Mm-hmm.
Are Americans as concerned about spirituality as they should be?
No, I don't think they're concerned about it, because it's a lot of people that say they're spiritual, but they're really all about money and status. Because spirituality is about knowing yourself, and then what I notice about the generation we live in today is all about you. And I have that type of problem too. Once I'm worried about somebody else, that's when I'm messing up in life. As soon as I'm focused on myself, then everything start going good. I don't have to worry about everybody. So, yeah, we are not spiritual in America. We worried about everybody else. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. Even when, like a new politician or somebody is in the office, everybody think it's the end of the world. I'm like, you still have to focus on yourself. Don't focus on that. Because there's some things that you can't change. So you really need to focus on yourself if you can't really change anything. So I'm a complainer. So once I stop complaining and start focusing, that's when I see a 180 change. So
Absolutely.
focus on yourself.
Stop complaining, start focusing. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see here. Are Americans as concerned about spirituality as they should be? We just covered that one.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10. How can crystals help your spirituality?
Crystals and gemstones they work, but it's like 50-50. You hold up, let's say you hold up a clear quartz gemstone or whatever. It's not going to work if you don't believe in it. So
willpower.
So it helps you mentally picture stuff, like with auras and stuff. You can mentally picture stuff. So with spirituality, it's all about imagination. So with the crystals and gemstones, it helps your imagination grow. It helps your belief system grow. If I wear a green stone at work and I'm like, oh, this green stone is going to give me money, mentally I'm going to be in that zone where, oh, I'm going to make this money. But if I kind of sketchy about it, I'm like, will this green stone work or whatever for money? It's going to have sketchy results. So crystals build your spiritual confidence. So crystals are extremely important for spirituality.
And is there something to how crystals can block certain vibrations or can attract certain vibrations that are beneficial to you? It's something with the vibrations, right?
Yes, I don't have the sources with me, so I'm going to just speak briefly on it. But there's certain gemstones like shungite and a lot of black gemstones where it absorbs Wi-Fi frequencies and negative energies. There's some gemstones where you could put in water and it enhances you, enhances other parts of your body. And yeah.
So there are rumors that crystals can have mystical powers. It is not confirmed. So that is very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic of tonight's questions, which is philosophy. And I'm excited about this topic. Let's see here.
You got a philosopher beard.
It's coming in nice. Number 1, does free will exist or is every action predetermined?
Yes, free will exists. the way free will works is we have so much free will to where we could believe that we don't have free will. And I've seen a lot of people online for the past years talk about questioning their free will and if they got free will and stuff. And you do have free will. You brought yourself here. You have control of your reality. You could switch vibrations and stuff. Even I can't bring up that word, but the S word, the self what's it called? Self deletion. When you self delete yourself, that's proof of free will. It's just you get to choose what you want to do. People could run around naked if they want to, but they don't because of free will, and they could because of free will.
Yep.
So it's all about a state of being, a state of mind. So if you don't, if you think you don't have free will, that's proof you have free will.
And people can experiment with their free will to discover what type of free will they actually have. Okay, let's move on. Will racism ever cease to exist?
That's a good one. Yes, but in my lifetime, no. I think with racism, it still has to go with hierarchy, to where you're trying to be in a better spot of society. So you always have to have somebody to look down upon, and it's been centuries and years with racism. If people don't understand, racism comes from hierarchy.
Right.
If somebody is more superior than the other person, that stems from racism and colorism and stuff. So it's up to us. It's up to the people and our leaders also to set that example and just giving out policies and stuff. So with the rate that we're going right now, I'd say probably like 200 years.
200 years, wow. I think that's definitely a possibility. I can see a future similar to Gene Roddenberry's vision of Star Trek, where basically everyone is equal as far as you could be alien, you could be, different, you could be polka dotted, and you're just treated equally as far as it's all about your intellect, and you get recruited into space cadets, Starfleet, just based on your aptitude. And so I can see a future like that. What do you think?
Yeah, so I guess I think it'll be longer since it took that much time for racism to actually develop and then be in our psyche and in our minds. It's going to take that same amount of time to get out our minds. But you never know. The future is not guaranteed. So racism could end tomorrow. It depends on who's going to set themselves as an example.
I agree with that. Okay. Do we respect the dead more than the living?
Yes, and it's unfortunate. The culture now is giving people their flowers after they're dead, and we need to give people their flowers now. So
wow, powerful.
But at the same time, a lot of people that have died has been demonized and canceled. So it's weird. I'm trying to think which would be more. I think the dead is celebrated more because people don't want to infringe upon the dead or whatever. And then while you live and people don't appreciate you, and once you died, people could like reflect or whatever. They'd be like, "Oh, this dude was the shit."
It's the old saying, "Don't beat a dead horse."
Yeah. So what was the question again?
Do we respect the dead more than the living?
Yes, we do.
We do.
Respect.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because it's real personal.
I respect that answer. Does God have supreme power?
With God, I'm really specific with God. So if it's Judeo-Christianity religion or whatever, I view God as the creator of mankind. And then some spiritual people believe God is the superconscious or whatever. But when you're referring to name God, is referring to the one that created you or whatever. And then I say he doesn't have power because you have free will, but at the same time he has power because he's still relevant today.
So the life giver has limited power.
Limited?
Well, that's what I'm asking as a secondary question. What do you think?
They have limited power in their. He has limited power in his perspective, but in our perspective, he is limitless because we can't even imagine how much power he has. So, I say he has limitless power compared to us.
Wow.
In our mindset. And he's still relevant today. That's proof right there.
And God could be him or her.
Yeah.
And let's go to the next question now. What should humans strive for most in life?
I'd say being themselves, because you can experience more and you can filter out so much stuff if you're being yourself. So I say one of the hardest things to do in American society is be yourself, because everybody's like, oh, you just be yourself and do this. And then once you be yourself, they're like, oh, you can't do this. You can't say that and stuff. So you strive to be yourself and to have fun, because when you're being yourself, that's when you're in your nature and you're having fun. But at the same time, you have to have reality to where you balance it. Like, I have to have money, a stable career. If you want a family, you got to search for the family and stuff. So never lose yourself within the stuff, because you hear people with drug problems and so many issues is because they're not being them true selves. They're hiding from themselves. So it's good to have like every few weeks or even once a month where you have a self-reflection or whatever. Am I being myself? Am I using my potential? Am I using my talent? And then go on from there. So I think everybody's goal is to be your true self.
Be your true self.
And everything will align with that.
Absolutely.
Money and happiness and wealth.
That's what we should strive for, definitely. Okay, number 6. Should Earth's resources be shared more equally?
Yes, and that takes me back to the last episode we had when we was talking about going to Mars, and I'm like, we can't go to Mars, we're not even united ourselves. Yes, we should share the energy together, and then that would be symbolizing of us being as one, because we're all one human race. So yes, we should share energy.
And then water. I think people should have water. And a lot of people don't.
What is it? Resources? Yeah, resources. Yeah, simple stuff. Water, livestock, land, just the basics or whatever.
Right.
Because
and we have the resources for
poverty. It'll end poverty.
And we could do it. I think that we definitely could. Number 7. Does time have a beginning and an end? What do you think?
It goes back to the other question where time is limitless. So I say it doesn't have a beginning or end because it has no limits. It does have a beginning and linearly, but it just non-stop flowing. It flows in different directions. Even let's say your whole lifetime, let's say you live to be 100 years old, you start from day 1 to 100, and then you could reflect your life in that time because there's a beginning and an end. But there's also alternate realities where you live to be 40 or you live to be 50 and stuff like that, or realities where you're not even born. So it is, but it isn't. Time has an end and a beginning, but it's limitless also. It's different types of time.
You can almost get confused just thinking about how time works. It's such a complex topic.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. Very interesting question here. Number 8 on the topic of philosophy. Do animals have souls? Carlos.
Yes. A lot of people don't believe animals have souls, and then it goes back to the first question. Soul is energy. If you don't believe in souls or ghosts or anything, you don't believe in energy, and then that's okay. But yes, animals have souls. My family dog that we had, probably like, I think about like 5 or 6 years after my dog passed away. I didn't even know my dog passed away because we had to give it up because we had to move. So my dog visited me in a dream and gave me a hug. So with my personal belief, I know they have souls because
Wow.
my dog reached out to me in the afterlife, so that's cool. In a dream.
I've actually had dreams similar to that, and I think that dogs and animals have souls as well.
Even in Native American history, they're always connected with the earth and the animals and stuff, and the spirit of the animals. And you could channel different animals in different aspects of your life. Like if like a lot of things people like to channel the lion energy, where like I'm a lion, I run this whole corporation or company. I'm a lion. I'm powerful. Even like with athletes and stuff, or like The Rock with the bull. He's a Taurus, so he's channeling the bull energy, where he's very competitive and out there and working out and being outspoken and stuff. So yes, you could channel. Not only animals have soul, you could channel their souls too.
And so, all right, I think that that is probably similar to like your spirit animal, or possibly like the Patronus charm in Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much emulating how animals do have a presence in this ether, in this environment that we're living in. They do have a spiritual presence. They do have a soul.
And my spirit animal is the owl, because I'm
Nice.
up all night and I'm always looking into the darkness of not just the darkness of night, but just darkness of situations. So I like to investigate different stuff.
And I like to think of myself spirit animal otter. I don't know why, but I've always loved the otter since I was a little kid. That was my favorite animal.
That's cool.
All right, let's move on. Next question. Are people really capable of change?
Yes, we've seen it so many times in history.
Absolutely.
And we have free will to change. If you don't want to change, then that's okay, but you change every day.
You are capable of change, everyone.
It's all
And
about
you can
degrees.
do it if you want to.
Yeah.
Number 10, last question on the topic of philosophy. What is the meaning of life?
The meaning of life is creating your own meaning. So with your free will and your ability to change your reality, you could create your life all you want to. You could be the struggling story. You could be the person that goes through depression throughout life and overcome it. You could be the guy that the athlete. You could be the professor. You could be anything you want to. So a lot of people are searching the meaning of life, like, why are we here or whatever. And then of course is to experience life. That's the easy scapegoat. But to really put it in perspective, the whole meaning of life is to create your own meaning. And if you don't believe in free will, then you're still going to be lost. So you create your own story. It's your movie, basically.
Definitely. And I think that some people from a scientific standpoint could say, oh, the meaning of life is reproduction. You eat, you sleep, you reproduce, and then you pass away. Or you could think of it as you're saying, self-manifestation, self-fabrication, creating what your vision is.
Mm.
And that is the meaning of life, to find your own meaning.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's very philosophical.
That was very, very philosophical, very thought-provoking, and that's what we cover here on the Austin Perry Show. And moving on, my last set of questions for you, Carlos. Thank you so much. Our last topic tonight, folks, is aliens. Of course, the alien resident here, Carlos Campbell, is actually an alien expert. He has studied this topic very extensively. And number one question, what do aliens eat, Carlos?
So when I think of aliens and extraterrestrials, I think of a more sophisticated diet and a more evolved diet. And then they're always traveling, and just like scientists, they're always doing research and stuff. So they don't have the time to sit down at a table and sit there and eat or whatever. So with my research and different stories of abductions and stuff like that, they eat like little capsules. There'll be like a little capsule of a ball, and then they eat it, and then it'll have all the nutrients all in one. Kind of like how we do vitamins, but a more complex form.
It's a powder pack of nutrients. Wow.
And then if you want to think even more sophisticated, you have aliens that are just made of energy, where they don't have to eat, where they just absorb sunlight, because all food is energy entering your body. So there's some aliens where they just take the sun, and some aliens that don't even need to eat. There's some aliens that just need water. There's some aliens that are more primitive where they just eat meat or humans or something like that.
Watch out for those.
But it's some aliens are like succubuses or whatever that absorb life energy or absorb fear energy.
The soul, they're sucking the soul. Some of these aliens potentially. I don't know.
So knowing that alien is a vast topic and a whole vast amount of races or whatever. So just to keep it simple, a sophisticated alien would either not have to eat, or if they do, it'll be like a small little capsule that will last them for like a month.
Or are some of these aliens taking in nutrients intravenously? They could be hooked in to tubes. Maybe. I don't know. Very, very interesting. Next question. If a genius human has an IQ of 200, what would the IQ of an alien be?
Probably about 1 million.
1 million?
I don't even know what's the scale of an IQ test, but it'll be like off the chart. It won't even be like an IQ test will be like, what's this? It'll rip up the paper. It's because of years of evolution and experience. Like I always give the example of an alien being millions of years more advanced than us, but that's just like the tip of the iceberg.
It could be just the tip, exactly.
Like don't even have the concept of time. They're like, what's time?
These aliens.
Aliens come down. They're like, oh, y'all still experiencing time? So to keep it simple, like let's say an alien race that's 8 billion years more advanced than us or whatever, they'll be like intelligence. You're like, that's it. So
sometimes I like to think though that aliens are not that much more advanced than humans, because I think that humans can comprehend some of these very complex things almost to a super evolved state of consciousness, of understanding. And so it's almost like, how much more of a deep and complex thought process can you have? And I suppose it is possible to be much more complex thinking on a topic, and so their IQ could potentially be, like you said, 1 million.
And the stories I hear about alien abductions or encounters, they always most of the aliens don't even like speak to you. They just mentally
mind meld,
project their thoughts into you and speak to you like that, because it's so many different complex languages of aliens or whatever. The only way to talk to humans is psychically.
Right. Telepathic communication. That's how the aliens communicate.
And we do have potential to get to that level, but we're way behind. And that's okay. We'll get there.
Wow. Okay. So let's ask this question now. Are aliens peaceful or hostile?
They are all hostile and they're coming against us. Not playing. It's 50-50.
Yeah.
When you're thinking of aliens in the universe, it's like 50-50. Comparing us humans as goldfish. So if you picture us as goldfish and then they throw us in the deep sea in the ocean or whatever, and then you'll probably see like a dolphin or a shark or a squid and
orca,
all the basic like animals that we know. Then you got to think of the plankton, the crabs and stuff like that. So it's limitless.
Microbes.
So yes, I think it's 50-50. Yes, they're hostile aliens, but we have so many good aliens that could protect us
on our side
or whatever. So and the proof is like if that was true, that the good aliens can protect us, they would have already came and took over instantly, because we're so easy to take over because we're at war with ourselves. So how to tell the difference of a hostile and a good alien? It's going to be hard, because let's say if you meet an alien and they look nice or whatever, there's no way to tell. And I guess, well, it'll be too late if you find out if they're hostile. So I would say assume that they have good intentions if they are coming to you slowly and telepathically, but still, shoot, that's still not even a clue. I guess since we're so weak compared to them, I say most of the aliens that come see us are good, because they're just trying to learn. Because there's some aliens that's neutral, like, oh, I don't care about you.
So a very small percentage of aliens are meat-eating aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we have the next question. This is a good one. Is it possible that humans were the aliens all along?
I believe that in our genetics, like when I was talking about last episode, our junk DNA, I believe we've been genetically modified, so I believe we're technically alien hybrids, to where we have other alien information in our body because we look so much different than our relatives, the primates. So you have the orangutans, the chimpanzees. I forgot the name of the third one that's in the Congo.
Gorillas.
It's
Bonobos.
Bonobos, yeah. So I just learned about them earlier this year. So if you compare us to them or whatever, they have like short feet, long arms. They're more adapted to nature. They're extremely strong. Their muscles pound per pound or whatever, extremely defined muscles.
Yeah.
And just their genetics. So yes, what's the question?
Is it possible that humans were the aliens all along?
Yes, I believe. Yes, I believe we're part alien. Yes.
Part alien. Okay. That's a consensus.
And because a part of our body is adapts to nature, and then another part is like can't adapt to nature. So that's proof right there. Like we're not hairy all over our face, because we could survive in the woods, but
no forehead hair.
But we have to like build like forts and stuff like that. We have to do alien stuff compared to the world, and
you can't just go around to the ant hills and eating the ants, and you need to like have some kind of primitive technology for a human to survive in the jungle.
I could be even more controversial. You have the Caucasian people where they can't stay in the sun that long, so that's proof right there. Because any other animal could stay in the sun, or well, any other primate could stay in the sun. Because some animals have to put mud on their body, but majority of Caucasians, they can't stay in the sun too long or whatever. So that's proof that a part of us isn't native to Earth. That's interesting.
Yeah, it seems like different evolutionary paths, and potentially humans could have been aliens all along. I mean, wow. All right. Do aliens view humans as pets or livestock?
I say more as pets.
Companions. What do you think?
And just learning about stuff. I say our Earth compared to on their perspective is the whole like zoo where they could like look and be like, oh, this is interesting, and then try to study us and like get information, and they could do all that within their spaceships. So they could like look through and just like reality TV and stuff like that. Just look through and like, oh, this is interesting. And they're trying to learn from us and learn about our free will. They were like, how did they become so hateful and primitive, and then at the same time become so loving and uniting? So they learn from our actions. They learn themselves from their they learn about themselves from our actions. So I'd say they more view us as pets than livestock.
So similar to how you could be in your bedroom and you could have an iguana terrarium and you look through the glass at your iguana, that's how the aliens could be in their spaceships potentially looking down on Earth at us.
But don't get it twisted. There's some hostile ones out there though.
Some of the bad ones are out there too.
They bite.
Gotta watch out. You don't want to get eaten. Some of these aliens are meat eaters. All right. Number 6. If the TV announced that aliens were real and were meeting with the president in the White House, what do you think would be the world's reaction?
I would say 90% wouldn't believe.
Really? Disbelief?
I would say 90%.
Just total disbelief, where they would say, even if it was on mainstream news, if it was on all the different channels, they say there was an alien meeting with the president and world leaders at the White House. It is live. This is a live feed. They show the alien. People wouldn't believe it.
I would say 90% because it's frightening to believe that there's something out there that's more smarter than you, more stronger than you, more advanced than you and stuff, and then it really puts you in a small place like, oh shoot, like if they're here, what about the other ones? So it puts us under the food chain if you're thinking in a lower vibration or a primitive mind state or whatever. Versus me, I'm like, about damn time or whatever. I'm like, what they about to talk about? I'm like, why is he talking with the president? He don't know what he's talking about. He's a puppet. So I would think it's sketchy. I would believe it, but I would think it's like sketchy. Like, why would they meet with the president? But
Like it would be
I
a
believe
stunt,
most
like,
people don't believe in aliens. I think they like flirt with the idea, but I think truly in their mind, if an alien came down, they would like have a seizure. And I think that's what's taking so long for an alien disclosure, because so many people don't believe, and they respect that. You have to respect people's beliefs. So I say 90% wouldn't believe.
mass disbelief. That could potentially be what happens.
And these are the people that need physical evidence. They're like, I need physical evidence and I don't believe. And then when it happens,
and even if it's right in front of their nose, they still might think, oh, I just hallucinated. It wasn't real. They just can't comprehend the aliens.
Yeah.
But
it is scary. I
real.
understand why it's scary, because you have one belief system your whole life, and then you finally see something that's out of this world, is gonna like really mess with your belief system if you're not flirting with that idea.
Throws them off. They can't take it. They say, no, aliens aren't real.
And I believe aliens understand that, so that's what's taking so long for alien disclosure. They respect that.
And I want to say to the aliens watching this right now, I love you guys, and I think you're real. Mm-hmm. And let's see here. What do we have to ask you next? We have a question here. What is your favorite alien movie?
What's the name of it? It is not The Arrival. It's the one with Jodie Foster. Let me look it up.
I think it's
where she fell into the ball and then went through time.
Okay, well, I think my favorite alien movie would have to be Star Wars Episode 3, which is one of my favorite movies. Lots of really cool aliens in that movie. One of the really cool aliens was the female Jedi alien that has the two blue hair things coming backwards. I really like that movie. Another one of my favorite movies that's an alien movie would have to be The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis.
Oh, yes. That's top 2 movies of all time, dead or alive.
Top 2, so Fifth Element and what else?
My number 1 is The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon.
Bruce Leroy. I found that it's with Jodie Foster. Contact, the movie Contact. With Matthew McConaughey. I forgot he was on that movie.
That's a classic.
The reason why that's my most favorite alien movie is it shows how the scientist is trying to like reach out and tell them to like build the structure, how the aliens made it or whatever, like with the seat thing. I don't know if y'all remember the seat scene where she was like, why do you put a seat in the thing or whatever? It has no seat. And then it was like, well, they keep you safe or whatever. I'm like, this is alien technology. So she got in the device or whatever. And then there was a guy on there that was the terrorist on there where he blew up everything or whatever, and they had to remake it. So that's another interpretation of how society would react if aliens provided technology or themselves or whatever.
Right.
And then it gives you clues, because I forgot how they I guess the signal gave them clues, the blueprint to build that structure. So that gives the people the time to be like, okay, if I believe in aliens, I believe I could build this and then see them. So when she dropped down in the ball or whatever, and then this chair was all shaking and everything, she got off the chair and then she was just floating all fluidly or whatever and stuff. That represents our technology versus the alien technology. And then when you look at the replay, it just showed the ball go through the light and then go straight down in like an instant. So in that time, it gives you the perspective of their time. She went through all this stuff, going through warp portals and stuff like that. And then even meeting her dad. I think her dad at the beach scene, spoiler alert, her dad at the beach scene was actually a different type of alien, but he gave the vision of her dad to make her more acceptive of the alien or whatever and stuff. So I don't think that was the alien's true form, but Contact shows how complex aliens are, and I appreciate that movie. So that's a great sci-fi movie.
It's been a while since I've seen that. I think I only seen it when I was a kid, but that's definitely worth a rewatch, everybody. And then another one I want to say too, a really good alien movie was Prometheus.
Oh yeah,
And
that was great.
that one really blew me away, actually. I saw it in theaters, and it was just very amazing visuals and very good storyline, and I actually really like that movie. And let's move on here to the next question. Do you think aliens are already here living among us in disguise?
Yes, and I think it's not in a mischievous way or a
Benevolent.
malevolent way. I think they do it just to get more research. Like you see in National Geographic, they get in the wild and they put on their little gear or whatever. What's it called? The
Headgear?
Headgear. What's it called? The sniper suit. The
Helmet?
ghillie suit. They got their little ghillie suit, and then they all taking pictures and stuff or whatever. So they just trying to get a more closer perspective, and even like with interactions and stuff like that. So since our mind is so oblivious to aliens, they could like mentally make you picture themselves as a lady in a red dress, like we was talking about, and then have an interaction to where they could like really study us. And that's a more sophisticated approach. And then when you think of aliens, you think of millions of years more advanced than us. Then that would be a great idea that they just walk around. I don't think it's like 200 of them. I think it's probably like 8 or probably like 7 of them just walking around. You're like, oh, that's interesting. Just for instance, just to get some type of experience, just experience the human emotion and the human interaction. But yeah, that's...
And then potentially the alien could show itself to you in its true form, not in a disguised form, just to see how you would react.
Mm-hmm.
If it's part of their experiment. Mm-hmm. And here we have another one. Are aliens waiting for humans to evolve more before revealing themselves to us?
Yes.
We're not there yet.
We still have these massive weapons, and we still have this massive conflict and stuff. They would call it human shit that we're dealing with. So I think after we deal with our human problems and unite as one race, then because they're sending signals out to different satellites and different vibrations for people to pick up, or even with crop circles, they give out clues. I think 80% of the crop circles are actually from extraterrestrials. So they send out different math clues and stuff because math is so universal in numbers. So they send different clues or whatever, and then now we're at a time where people are now flirting with the idea of aliens. But we had the Phoenix Skies incident in 1997. Nobody's talking about it now. So I think they're still waiting on us. So maybe next year people will start believing in aliens, but until then, and you don't have to believe in, just flirting with the idea. I think about like a year or 2 years, if we more aware of the idea of extraterrestrials, they'll give us a little preview or put a little display to show us that we're watching. So I think it's up to us for the alien disclosure. It's not on them anymore because we have free will, and they understand that and they respect that.
So they're waiting for people to be more open to the idea of aliens before they introduce themselves to us.
Because you really have a seizure. You'll probably
Definitely.
die just looking at you like, what the hell?
A lot of people aren't on the level to accept aliens yet, and that's just a fact.
And their vibrationally, they're on a higher vibration, so it really will like mess you up if you see something that you don't even believe in.
It will shock you. It will shock to
They
the
did
system.
it on the I forgot the name of it. The name of that happening when an alien visit a primitive culture, and then they just go crazy and start worshiping. They did on the Star Wars movie, Star Trek movie, the more new one.
Oh yeah, when they drew in the dirt the
Yes.
picture of the spaceship, and it's all red trees and
It's
stuff.
a scientific name for that or whatever. So they don't want to do that to us.
like a cult worship. Like
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. All right. Well, that's very interesting. Last question of the night.
All right.
All right. If aliens live on another planet in our solar system, what planet do you think that it is?
I would say, because we do have some in different star systems, like the the Pleiades star system, Orion, so many different star systems, but the closest one to us, what's it called? Kuiper? Not Kuiper, that's the Kuiper belt. Kepler.
Kepler.
The one that we're researching, I think it's not a coincidence that we're researching that Earth-sized planet. I think it's a clue to give us the idea of thinking about it. Because even like with me, I love aliens, where I forgot about Kepler and stuff. I think that's going to be the planet where one of the alien races are reaching out. But
wow,
I think the scientists now are just like putting the information out there just to see how the reactions. And today there's not a lot of reactions. I could randomly go up to somebody in the streets and then ask them, what do you think about Kepler? And then they'll be like, what are you talking about?
Kepler, what's that? And so you think that aliens, the closest ones to Earth, are in not even the solar system, but a different star system?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, Kepler is in a different star system? I don't know.
I think it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that
aliens... you're talking about our solar system.
Right, like Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars.
No, I think like the moon and Mars and stuff like that. I think they have like little stations, mini stations where they drop by just to visit Earth, but like a actual
not a settlement
planet. I don't think
just
so.
Just an outpost.
Yeah, I don't think so, because Venus would be a good outpost or whatever, because the weather is similar to us, but just the whole the glass house thing or whatever, the carbon monoxide.
Greenhouse effect.
Glass house effect. Well, glass house, greenhouse effect.
No.
No, I don't think it's a whole race on any of the planets of our solar system. And I still don't know how Jupiter works. I think Jupiter is more like a star where it's becoming a star because it's so vast.
Gas. It's gas.
Yeah, giant. I couldn't even imagine like throughout all that gas in Jupiter, you just sit there and it's a land of aliens. So I don't think there's any planets with alien civilization in our solar system. So I think there's little outposts in different stations, especially the dark side of the moon. Spoiler.
Yep. I think that. I think that you are definitely right on that. Part of me thinks that what you're saying is definitely true, and then another part of me thinks that, like the dark side of the moon, they could have a massive colony on the dark side of the moon. They could potentially have a massive, like aliens could have potentially a massive underground colony on Mars, and it's just not visible from our satellite imaging. Or they can see it from our satellite or thermal imaging, but they haven't declassified that yet. So that's a potential option. And that concludes this episode of the Austin Perry Show. Episode 9, April 15th, 2021. It's Thursday today. Thank you so much for watching. Carlos, would you like to... Thank you so much for coming, man, and being on the Austin Perry Show. And would you like to shout out your social media and where people can find you and contact you and follow what you're doing?
Yes. For T-shirts and merch, you could follow owlspiritshop.com. And to follow me personally, you can follow me on Instagram. I have all the links to my other sites, where it's Patreon or Facebook or anything. You can add me. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a stranger. It's Mechfrza, MECHFRZA. And you can ask me any questions about anything, because I like researching, and especially with the Zodiac and stuff. We got to have a Zodiac episode.
Oh, yes.
3 hours
talk
long.
About that.
But yeah, you could reach out to me, ask me any questions, anything about politics and stuff, because with YouTube we're limited on different topics, so we have to keep it hypothetical and stuff out of respect to the platform. So yeah, just hit me up. It's IG MECHFRZA and owlspiritshop.com.
Amazing conversation. Thank you again, Carlos, for joining me. And I just want to say, folks, if you're watching on YouTube, please give this video a like. Please comment. Please let me know what you thought about all the information that we just showed to you. And let me have some criticism in the comment section on YouTube, please. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's Austin Perry Show. And please share this video. Please email or text message this video to your family or friends. And please hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. I am also backing this video up on 2 additional platforms. You can watch this video as well on BitChute and on Rumble, and as well on AustinParry.org, which is my website, which has all of my video content, has merchandise, and has my artwork for sale. I do illustrations and paintings as well, and that is PARRY. And my second website is AustinParryArt.com. First website again, AustinParry.org. And please leave me a donation via PayPal. You can do that via PayPal. My email address for that is austin.perry@gmail.com, and that's PARRY. Every little bit helps. $5, $10. I will be eternally grateful to support my video content. Thank you very much. And that concludes episode 9 of the Austin Perry Show. Once again, Carlos, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everyone, have a great night. Love and peace, and goodbye.